Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through the data so you get the crucial insights without the heavy lifting. Today, we're diving into a market that might really surprise you: digital printed wallpaper. You might think wallpaper's a bit old-fashioned, maybe, but the numbers we're seeing, they tell a completely different story, a story of massive transformation. Our mission, using some exclusive market research from cognitive market research, is basically to unpack what's going on in this booming industry. We'll look at the drivers, the surprising regional trends, and what's really fueling this incredible growth. So stick around. This deep dive gives you the inside track on a market that's quietly changing everything, with some frankly eye-opening figures.
It's true. And what's fascinating, I think, isn't just the dollar amounts, though they are impressive. It's how this seemingly traditional product, wallpaper, is right at the heart of major tech and consumer shifts. The data we're about to dig into, it's not just about, patterns on a wall. It reflects much broader economic trends and changing tastes globally.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting big picture, the global market for digital printed wallpaper. So, to give you a sense of the scale, back in 2021, sales revenue was already $3.29 billion, substantial. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just ticking up slowly. It's projected to almost double, get this, to $6.22 billion by 2025. And then by 2033, we're looking at a frankly staggering $22.26 billion. That huge climb works out to a compound annual growth rate, a key GR, of 17.263% globally. That's more than just robust growth. It signals really strong, accelerating demand, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. A key GR over 17% isn't just strong. It's a real sign of fundamental market dynamism. When you see that kind of consistent high rate growth, it tells you something big is shifting underneath. In consumer behavior, in industry tech, it really makes you ask what exactly is pushing that kind of expansion, especially in a sector maybe once seen as well a bit static. We're clearly seeing technology, design, and consumer demand all coming together in a really powerful mix here.
Right. So let's zoom in a bit. North America, a region showing incredibly strong performance. In 2021, it was valued at $902.55 million in the forecast. By 2033, it's expected to hit an impressive $5.67 billion. That's maintaining a strong CAGR, 16.564%. Pretty consistent. Okay, now breaking that down by country is interesting. The U.S. Obviously leads in sheer volume, $731 million back in 2021, heading towards $4.5 billion. But what caught my eye is the slight variation in growth rates. For instance, Canada, smaller market, yes, but it's actually projected to grow a bit faster. Its CAGR is 17.272%. That's compared to the U.S. at 16.431%. Mexico's solid too, 16.799%.
Yeah, that's a great point. Connecting it back, North America's steady growth, it suggests a mature market, sure, but one that's really grabbing onto new trends. But that slightly higher Canadian key AGR, that is interesting. It could suggest maybe a faster adoption curve up there. Perhaps they're quicker on the e-commerce side for home decor, or certain design trends just clicked faster. It shows it's not just about the overall size of the market, but the speed, the speed of change within it.
Good point. Okay, let's turn to Europe now. Another really significant player here. The region stood at about $695 million in 2021, and it's projected to jump significantly, hitting $4.43 billion by 2033. That's with a strong ECOGR as well, 16.757%, very much in line with North America. And within Europe, we see, well, varied starting points, but pretty uniformly strong growth trajectories. The UK, for example, is set for really significant growth. KOGR over 17%, reaching over $670 million by 2033. Germany starts bigger, $142 million in 2021, heading towards almost $1 billion by 2033. France, Italy, Spain, all showing really strong growth, contributing hundreds of millions each by 2033. It is fascinating the diverse growth across Europe. Germany's huge in absolute numbers, naturally. But the UK's QOGR being slightly higher again, like Canada's, it suggests a really strong uptick, maybe driven by a vibrant design scene or, like you said, a quick embrace of digital customization. What it really shows is that the core appeal of digital wallpaper, the customization, the innovation, it resonates across a whole range of European economies, and design taste has got broad appeal.
Okay, now, here's where it gets, as you said, really fascinating. Asia Pacific. This region isn't just growing fast, it feels like it's
Yeah.
just exploding. It's really leading the global charge. Get this. APAC was valued at $1.19 billion in 2021. Pretty big already. Expected to more than double to $2.3 billion by 2025. Okay, fast. But by 2033, we're talking a massive $8.66 billion, and that comes with the highest regional CGR of the lot, 17.979%, almost 18%.
Wow. Okay, that is explosive growth.
Right. And within APAC, China's a powerhouse, of course, projected to hit over $2.8 billion by 2033. Japan also showing impressive growth, but the real standout, the one that made me double check the numbers, is India. It has the absolute highest individual country CAGR in this whole analysis, a staggering 19.02%.
19%.
Yeah,
Goodness.
rising from about $150 million to over $1.2 billion by 2033. South Korea, Australia, Singapore, also strong contributors, adding hundreds of millions each.
That scale and speed in APAC, and especially India leading the CAGR charts, that really grabs your attention. It can't just be general economic uplift, right? It suggests this powerful mix of factors. You've likely got a rapidly growing middle class, more disposable income, combined with increasing urbanization, people wanting modern, personalized homes. Plus, maybe there's a stronger cultural embrace of, customization and jumping on new design innovations. It seems digital wallpaper is just perfectly positioned for markets that are adopting new aesthetic standards really, really quickly. Unprecedented pace, almost.
Absolutely. Okay, let's round out our global tour. South America, the Middle East, and Africa. These regions are smaller starting points, but they're also seeing really robust expansion in this market. For South America, started at about $197 million in 2021, projected to grow to over $1.38 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR of 17.6% again, very strong. Brazil leads there, but Argentina's CAGR is notably high at 18.156%. Another standout growth rate.
Interesting. Another high one there.
Yeah. Then, the Middle East. Similar story, valued around $187 million in 2021, expected to reach nearly $1.3 billion by 2033, CGR of 17.4%. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE, they're major contributors. It suggests a real appetite for this kind of customized decor in these, rapidly developing economies. And finally, Africa. Emerging steadily, started at about $118 million in 21, expected to reach over $815 million by 2033. That's a CGR of 16.8%, still very healthy. Nigeria and South Africa are the main drivers of that regional expansion.
Seeing this consistent high growth across such different emerging markets, South America, Middle East, Africa, it really underlines that this is a truly global trend. It's not just confined to developed economies or specific design cultures. It signifies this broader, almost universal appreciation for what digital printed wallpaper offers. The flexibility, the personalization. It's really a testament to how widespread its appeal is becoming. The drivers seem to be global, not just regional.
Okay, so we've mapped out the what and the where of this incredible growth. Billions of dollars, high KGRs everywhere. The obvious next question is, why? What's actually driving this? How is this happening? Our source material flags, a few key things: design innovation, sustainability trends, and this demand for customized aesthetics. How do you see those fitting together? How do they create such momentum?
Yeah, that's exactly the right question. And crucially, they're not acting in isolation. They really feed off each other. So take design innovation first. Digital printing just blows the doors off career possibilities, right?
Yeah.
We're way past just replicating old patterns. Think hyper-specific murals for hotels, complex textures for offices, or even using your own photos for wallpaper in your kid's room. That level of bespoke design, it was either impossible or just incredibly expensive before. Digital printing kind of democratizes it.
Right, makes unique design accessible.
Exactly. Then you add sustainability. This is huge now. Digital printing often means printing on demand. You order what you need. That drastically cuts down material waste compared to churning out giant rolls of traditional wallpaper that might just sit in a warehouse. Less waste, often less energy used too. That really appeals to consumers who are, increasingly eco-conscious. It feels like a greener choice.
Okay, so innovation plus a greener footprint.
And the third piece is that customized aesthetics. It taps directly into this fundamental desire people have now. People want their homes, their offices, their spaces to reflect them, their personality, their brand, their taste. Digital wallpaper makes achieving that unique look incredibly easy. Specific colors, bespoke patterns, wall-sized photos, whatever tells your story. So you combine that freedom of design, the sustainability angle, and this deep desire for personalization. Suddenly, digital wallpaper isn't just a niche thing anymore. It's a super attractive mainstream design solution for today's world. That's the synergy driving those numbers.
That makes a lot of sense. So we've really dug deep into this fascinating world of digital printed wallpaper from, what was it, $3.3 billion in 2021, heading towards a projected $22 billion by 2033. I mean, the numbers really do speak for themselves. We've seen the global picture, the regional breakdowns, North America, Europe adopting quickly, Asia Pacific just soaring, and those standout growth stories in places like India, Canada, Argentina. It's clear this market has incredible momentum everywhere.
Absolutely. And I think the key thing to take away here isn't just, wallpaper is back. It's much deeper. It's reflecting these fundamental shifts in what consumers want: personalization, sustainability, innovation. And crucially, these things are becoming accessible globally. This deep dive really highlights how a product, maybe seen as traditional, can achieve massive scale when it perfectly aligns with these powerful universal desires. It's a fantastic example, really, of an industry quietly undergoing a major revolution, driven by digital tech and changing tastes.
So for you listening, here's something to think about. How might this boom in customized, sustainable home decor ripple outwards? What other industries could it impact? Think about maybe interior design education or the tech behind the printing itself, or even how retail spaces might adapt. And looking forward, what's the next everyday item, something you might think is a bit old school right now, that's actually poised for its own dramatic, digitally driven transformation? Food for thought. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. You know that feeling? When you walk into a room and the walls just, they sort of speak to you. It feels like a story or a mood, a statement. Well, today we're diving into how that's becoming really a whole new kind of art form. And it's thanks to technology you might not even realize is totally transforming our spaces.
Welcome to the deep dive. We are pulling back the curtain today on the, well, frankly fascinating world of digitally printed wallpaper.
It really is evolving fast.
It is. So our mission basically is to unpack what's shaping this market. The drivers pushing it forward, maybe some surprising hurdles holding it back a bit,
Right.
and then the really exciting trends that are just redefining the whole industry. Think of this as your shortcut to getting, well, properly informed on this.
And that's exactly the plan. We'll help you synthesize all this information, sort of connect the dots, so you understand not just what's happening, but really why it matters, why it impacts how we live, how we work, maybe even how we think about design itself. Okay, perfect. So let's kick things off with the positive momentum then. What's really fueling the growth? What's breathing life into digitally printed wallpapers right now?
Well, I'd say at its core, it's this huge surge in demand for interior personalization.
Ah, right, making things unique.
Exactly. People, whether it's for their homes or maybe their businesses, they're just way more focused now on creating environments that genuinely reflect who they are or their brand identity. And digitally printed wallpapers, they've become the go-to because they offer an almost limitless palette. We're talking vivid colors, completely customizable designs.
Anything you can imagine, almost.
Pretty much. And even photorealistic textures. So you can transform, anything from a chic city apartment to a fancy boutique hotel, or even a creative office space. Make it totally unique. It's really about more than just how it looks. It's about feeling a connection to that space.
That makes so much sense. That desire for personalization, especially now when everyone craves sort of unique experiences. But okay, beyond just wanting something unique, what about the tech? What kind of advancements make these wallpapers so much more versatile, more practical?
Yeah, the tech jump has been huge. We're seeing really high-resolution digital printing, captures incredible detail. Then there are the inks, UV-resistant inks that actually hold their color over time. That's a big
No,
deal.
definitely. Fading used to be a major issue,
A
right?
huge limitation, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with older print methods. And the materials themselves, the substrates, they're incredibly durable now. Some are even washable.
Washable wallpaper, really?
Yep. Which means they're not just for, quiet living rooms anymore. They're genuinely practical, even in places like kitchens or bathrooms where, let's face it, traditional materials often just couldn't handle it. And if you zoom out a bit, this also connects to the bigger picture, the expansion in real estate and hospitality.
Okay, how's
Well, you've got global urbanization, right? More people in cities, a surge in new building, both homes and commercial spaces. So there's this massive demand for wall decor that's, well, cost-effective, but also visually impactful.
something that looks good without breaking the bank or taking forever?
Precisely. And digital wallpapers. They fit the bill perfectly. They're quick to install, much quicker than, say, a hand-painted mural, often surprisingly affordable in that context. And the design flexibility is just incredible.
So developers and designers must love them.
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing them used more and more to quickly define spaces. In hotels, restaurants, high-end shops, modern apartments. Gives them that high-end feel, but without the massive timeline or budget.
Okay, that paints a really strong picture of growth. But, every market has its challenges, its counterforces. Here's where it gets really interesting. What are the hurdles? What's holding digitally printed wallpaper back, even with all this momentum?
Well, one pretty significant restraint is the initial investment.
Ah, the cost.
Yeah, the upfront cost. While they can be cost-effective maybe in the long run or for certain big projects, getting started is often pricier than just, painting a wall.
Or even standard wallpaper
Or
rolls.
even conventional mass-produced wallpaper, exactly,
Yeah.
because you're paying for that customization. You're often paying for premium materials, those durable substrates we talked about, and the advanced printing itself. It's closer to fine art reproduction than just running off copies.
Right.
So that higher initial price tag, it can definitely be a deterrent, especially in regions where price is really sensitive or just for homeowners looking for the absolute cheapest fix.
Okay, the custom aspect drives up the price.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. And speaking of tricky bits, getting it onto the wall, I imagine that's not always straightforward. Is it a DIY nightmare?
You hit on a really key point there. Look, while it can be more manageable than some traditional wallpapers, getting it right, getting that flawless finish, it still usually needs professional expertise.
So not really a weekend warrior project then.
Not ideally, no. And maybe more critical is the wall surface itself. It has to be prepared meticulously. Super smooth, clean, dry.
What happens if it's not?
Well, issues like dampness or maybe uneven textures from old paint, even just tiny bumps, they can really mess with the final look and affect how long it lasts.
Right, bubbles, peeling.
Exactly. So that definitely limits adoption among, let's say, the casual DIY crowd. They might just opt for something simpler, like paint, rather than risk the potential frustration if it's not done perfectly. And another thing, sort of related, is just awareness, especially in emerging economies.
Ah, people just don't know about it.
Pretty much. In many developing markets, conventional methods, paint, and maybe basic traditional papers, they still dominate. There's often a lack of product education. You don't see it much in the shops. People haven't really been exposed to just how versatile and, frankly, transformative these digital wallpapers can be.
So the potential is there, but it's just not visible enough yet.
Exactly. And that really slows down how quickly the market can penetrate in those areas. People just stick with what they know.
So we've got these drivers, these restraints. What does this all mean for the future? Let's talk about the exciting trends. What's really redefining the industry, shaping the future of our walls?
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. What's fascinating here is how sustainability is just rocketing to the top as a central theme.
Ah, the green movement hitting
Now's
wallpapers.
the time. We're seeing manufacturers making a really significant shift towards eco-friendly materials,
Hmm.
and it's largely driven by consumers demanding it. People are way more environmentally conscious now.
So what does that mean in practice? What kind of materials?
Well, gone are the days, hopefully, of wallpapers full of PVCs and, those volatile organic compounds, the VOCs.
Right, the stuff that smells and isn't great for indoor air.
Exactly. Now, there's a real move towards PVC-free options, materials that are recyclable, non-toxic. We're seeing more water-based inks being used, biodegradable substrates, sometimes derived from things like bamboo or other renewable plants.
Wow.
Yeah, so it lines up perfectly with these green interior design trends, but also bigger picture stuff like global ESG goals, better air quality inside, less environmental impact overall. It's a huge shift.
This sounds like a massive and really positive change. And it's not just the materials, right? It's also how we find and choose them. You mentioned e-commerce earlier and these virtual tools. How is that changing the game for something so visual?
It's making it incredibly accessible
Mm.
and really engaging, too. Online platforms aren't just places to browse endless catalogs anymore. Now they're letting you virtually preview designs
Yeah.
in your own room using augmented reality.
Seriously, like hold up your phone and see it on the wall.
Exactly like that. Imagine seeing precisely what that bold botanical print would look like on your actual living room wall before you commit.
That takes away so much guesswork.
Completely. These kinds of tech tools build huge consumer confidence. They simplify what used to be a really complex, sometimes agonizing decision. It's a total game changer for shopping for wallpaper online. And then, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the design landscape itself, we're seeing this amazing creative evolution. Themes are getting really sophisticated, inspired by nature, by art, by different cultures.
So moving beyond just simple patterns.
Way beyond. People are embracing these big mural-style prints. Think sprawling botanical designs, almost like a jungle on your wall, or captivating abstract art. Iconic city skylines, Rich, ethnic patterns. They genuinely transform entire walls into these bold central statement pieces.
The wall becomes the main event, not just the background.
Precisely. It marks a really new chapter, I think, in interior design. Wallpaper isn't just background decor anymore. It's often the focal point. It's the art piece that sets the whole tone for a room's character.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, it's really clear, isn't it? Digitally printed wallpapers are on this dynamic growth path. It's pushed by our desire for personalization, amazing tech innovation, and this growing commitment to sustainability. But it's also navigating those challenges, the higher initial costs sometimes, and, well, the need to just get the word out more, boost that market awareness.
Precisely. And the trends we're seeing unfold today, they are absolutely shaping the wallpapers of tomorrow. They're going to be smarter, greener, and just way more expressive.
Yeah.
And this raises, I think, an important question for everyone listening,
Right.
which is, how might you rethink the role of wallpaper in your own space? Maybe moving beyond just simple decor, thinking about it as a truly personal statement, or maybe even an environmental commitment with these new materials.
Yeah.
It's worth considering how these shifts in design and in materials really reflect broader changes, changes in our values as consumers, and how technology is just weaving itself into the very fabric of our daily lives. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.